Hello and welcome back, my friends. Hambbage here, and glad to be back for another hardcore vanilla Minecraft play session. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you're having a wonderful day or evening, and let's get into another. That was a Lemmings splash screen. We're hopefully not going to be jumping off any cliffs unintentionally, and kind of ratchet along here as we load up. So. Um, for anybody following along in close to real time, sorry about the delay in videos there. Hopefully, there were plenty sitting around that you guys could catch up on. So, congratulations on any backlog you may have worked through. And we're back at it now. I did go ahead and tweet out to folks um, late yesterday, kind of in way of explanation. No, it didn't go anywhere or anything. Just had I've told you guys I've had some ongoing issues with my internet of late, and while that's never a fun thing, it was just kind of nuisance level stuff for most of the time. I Comcast out west for folks that may not be in the U.S. or in other parts of the United States. Comcast is one of a couple big players here in internet services, and they're who I use, and I've been very happy, just rock solid until maybe the end of May was the very first one that I'd had, and then kind of going through June, just like a couple times a week or so, and usually at least one was kind of overnight time, like maybe maintenance was being done stuff. But I'd have these varying duration losses of internet, and then by the time it would come back up, I could usually just I've worked in IT long enough. I get it. Most of the time it's not just you. It's something going on, and everybody else has already jumped at the chance to stick it to their provider and tell them how terrible they are. All that kind of stuff, right? Well, man, I have not looked at this texture in this light before. Kinda, is that 7? I think, if I recall correctly, let's come down here now. Anybody remember from past farms? Am I doing this right? Ha ha ha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Perfect. So that's kind of how we set up here. Can sometimes peek at the smoke. I think that's it, right? Yeah. Okay, so two off. This just kind of sets up a nice little pattern that's repetitive and works across the 64. So it's just 2 blocks on either side of the pair of torches, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, all the rest of the way. And if I don't manage to miss the first one, everything lines up. And this is, by putting the slab up there, this is primarily just to keep our crops growing throughout the night, while they're loaded, right? This is not a special custom environment or anything like that. Just your typical farm, but we'll go ahead and get our beets going as well, so that they can all be growing here while we work on the rest. And then when we get everything in and going, that's when we'll start taking whatever bones we have, bone mealing up everything, and massing some crops. So that's kind of the pattern. Now, I think one thing I'd like to do, which may be a bit maddening for some folks, is go ahead and get our edge done. And this is really just for the sides. The ends may actually be a little bit longer, particularly this close end. But we want to have a nice wide walkway around the outer edge, and then we want to have fences up so that we can keep out mobs and, to the extent possible, wandering tradesmen and all that kind of stuff. So lots of space, and again, we'll need full stone bricks around these outer edges. And I've got just enough of those. So I think for here, we come back this way, and we've got enough, so we'll go back with the tiled on the outer edge. Before we get to mashing everything into the ground there. So the flower, I guess. So then down on this edge, I don't know how far we're going to extend, because this could very well transfer into more farms and stuff. But we'll just leave this regular stone brick for a moment. And there we go. Now, I don't think we're going to have enough to in fact, I know we're not going to have enough to finish all the rows with this iron hoe. Excuse me, a little coffee burpee this morning. So I think we can get 3 of the 4. Usually it's, the last quarter or so of the 4th row where an iron pick fails. Watch me get proven wrong here. Come on. There we go. So we'll leave the rest of that just to merge it with another. And then here, just kind of marker a little bit what we want to have going here. And now set to work eradicating any memory of creeper games All their fun little holes gone. Poor creepers. They thought they were going to live in our memory. And of course, a lot of you guys may be pausing to question, well, if you get all that field, why wouldn't you put in the carrots and the potatoes especially, if not the pumpkins and melons too, just to try to get everything growing while you're out here? And it's a fair question. It's really just a whim and not wanting to get too bogged down with inventory juggling and all that kind of stuff while we're really still just trying to clear ground and prepare things for improvement. It's not going to make that much of a difference. As we've talked about, with the nether being what it is, we don't have to really think about pork, with pigs or anything like that. So breeding them doesn't become a huge deal. And, once you have steak, you don't need a whole lot of potatoes, and we have fish in between now and then. So just so many reasons why it's not all that critical. Leaves us the chance to focus. Alright, you go away. You come in here. Gonna have 3 more of these. And then 3 more cooking. Here. And all our stone bricks. So that gives us a pretty good stock. The other thing that we'll want is deep slate bricks. So that's what we were using, not the tiles. And let's go ahead and make 2 stacks of those. And then do we still have gates of any kind? Now I'm actually kind of thinking the birch might be... We've got a bunch of spruce, but I love the look of the spruce wood. And it may look okay, but because the deep slate is so dark, I'm thinking maybe the birch, and we have a lot of birch around here too, is another. But I'm kind of thinking they might be pretty nice. This is an early game just recipe, and yeah, you can pop it in there, but 1 stack of logs will perfectly make a full stack of gates for whatever that is. Let's also do 2 more iron hose. There we go. And sleepy time. So yeah, we're very clearly, I haven't even talked about where we are in the game really, but very clearly we are still in the midst of sorting out our farm. and dodging these skellies. Ooh, did I get him? I don't think so. I don't know what that little magical purpley flash was. Maybe just some lingering stuff off the Enderman. He is active. Bouncing all over the place. Oh, there's a creeper up there too. Come here, Mr. Creeper. Whoa! I was just gonna say, no point in letting him blow up. I'd rather have the gunpowder, and then, for whatever reason, that last little wiggle mishit, let him go. And now we do have a couple of coal deposits here, so maybe before we go get the dirt, start turning all that over, let's get the coal out. If we can hold it all. And just a little bit of fill cobble here. Fill cobbles. Quite a musician. The beats are coming along well. Didn't really plan too well on some of this. Ah. Missing on everything. Everything. No. Okay. Well done there. Now we'll switch here. Try to extend out the foot of our farm. What do you think? Is this the head or the foot? Ah! Almost a disaster. I guess that lets us sort our inventory here. Wow. What a near disaster. That away. Let's put that away. such a mess here. You come with unplanned, but I don't want to have that so close to gone before I do anything, because there's the chance that you break some coal or whatever, and it just doesn't give enough XP to repair it. Let's just go to the close one here, so we can savor how good the other one is when it's running. So for folks that may not have seen many episodes, this was our very first skeleton spawn. As you can see, it's got the advantage of being very close to the base. The disadvantage that we're already down at bedrock right here, so can't do anything to drop them. But that's all we needed. Just enough to get our good pick out of danger. And it just took a couple skeletons to do that. And a little fun along the way. Nothing like taking down a couple skeletons. Go out through the vine-dusted boat tunnel. Alright, now using the correct pick, back to work. And now, for anyone familiar with World 5, same idea here. We want to have enough room for the various torches, shulker boxes when we have them, a bed, a crafting table, all that stuff that will help us manage inventory and gather up all the produce when we're getting ready to go trade it or what have you. So that's a bit of the idea. Now I think with 3, I would think 5 would be enough. We could put in double row of boxes, still have room to walk around down here, do whatever we want with gates. So I'm going to turn it there. And it still gives us some room there to play with stairs up, whatever we want to do for kind of entrance to the farm area. And do we want to make all of this enclosed out here, or just the fields and have a path come around here? Haven't really even given that the thought it deserves. To have a preference, but I don't know. I kind of would prefer not to have to go through gates every time I wanted to go anywhere. But if we have the whole area lighted and secured, then maybe. So thank you all for the continuing visits and likes and comments and stuff over the day I wasn't far removed. I was very frustrated and feeling disconnected with everything that was going on, and that's one of the pieces that you kind of have to be prepared to maintain yourself, if, and for me, this is just getting started. See what I can do. Can I grow the channel? Does my play style have an appeal? People enjoying it? It would seem on a limited basis so far that yeah, absolutely, you guys seem to be having a good time, or enough of you are that it's worth it to me to keep going. But for all the folks out there like, oh, I want to be a content creator. It's a fun job and all that. You gotta be prepared to bring that mentality that if you're not on and creating, there's nothing new to be bringing people's attention to your channel. And so every day there's nothing new, you kind of hit yourself twice. Once you prevent any new promoted content from going out. But two, all your loyal viewers, and you guys know who you are. You're awesome. Thank you. Um, you guys don't see that there's anything new coming out. It won't bring you back. I won't show up in a subscribers channel, as having a new video. And those are big challenges when you're trying to create content. Guess we'll take. I was really thinking about leaving this stone behind, but we should, between finishing up that whole top area and then getting the edge of the farm area, we should use that much, I would think. Each of those runs is a stack, of course, so it's something. Knock that one out. I don't know if that had anything to do with our previous challenges. So this side is good. Let's come back now and try to lay in the area for our next pathway. When I did finally get my internet back last night, how many of you guys are fans of Top Gear? For me, that, obviously, at least from the American visibility and standpoint and stuff, and, from outside, just a car show, Top Gear really showed up for me as an adult. But I've enjoyed it for a long time. And when I found it, there was already probably decade. I don't know. I mean, how many? 25 or so years that they did it before switching over to Amazon, and now they're, it's kind of like a band that's on good terms, but is beginning to show the signs that it's breaking up nonetheless. Everybody's getting involved in their own solo work projects, and I think that's good. It for me, it was always a fun show. I really enjoyed it, but it was, in the old Top Gear format particularly, it was just way too formulaic and contrived. What felt fresh and new, no matter how much it was kind of scripted hilarity stuff, it seemed disingenuous. Wow, excuse me. By the end of it, the when you see them setting up the same gag that they've already done in different styles, but kind of to the same effect in the past. For me, at least, and there's always new people coming in, right? So it still works, but for the long-term audience, it doesn't work as well anymore. It's like, oh man, now what I found so entertaining at the beginning doesn't feel that entertaining anymore because it's just piled on to um, the rest, and how contrived was the stuff that I initially thought was spontaneous and ad-libbed kind of stuff. So I don't know. I think now obviously, there's the, if you want to call it politics, but just studio stuff. A lot of times it's good for. Wow, here we go. Big yawn for those types of projects to change and end, and any of the younger audience here would probably say, "Oh yeah, but the good people, the good groups never do that. They just fight through it." Well, even some of the very best do it. They just do it in such a style that they don't burn their bridges. They keep options open, and are able to then take a break, go off and pursue other stuff. And it's kind of like Minecraft, right? You get too fed up with exploring an abandoned mine shaft, and I'm not saying that we had or that those farms were exhaustive or anything like that, but at a point you go, okay, now I've been away from that for a long enough time. I've built all this other farm. I'm hungry to get back. I want to do more of that. What did we have left to do? Maybe more a better example, with all the PC issues and stuff, was the slow cooker world itself. Awesome world, and one that we made a mile of progress with, but circumstances in the moment made it too frustrating to continue with it. I just didn't want to keep recording and losing episodes and having unexplained stuff that wasn't on the video in the world, because the progress we'd made in the world and the video and all that kind of stuff didn't sync up, or more accurately, I guess, the videos in the world didn't account for anything because we had to revert back to the saved world file here on the laptop instead of the one that had been recorded locally on the PC that then crashed again. So I think like musicians and any kind of creative or entities, let's call them, when things like that happen, when you have a string of things, you sometimes need to just step away and get clear. Sometimes that's true of families too, right? You're young or something like that. It's I think why a lot of folks like I did choose to go away, kind of as a first opportunity when you go off to college. Man, oh man, oh man, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I had an awesome night of sleep last night. I'm up, I'm awake, alert. Just haven't done this talking thing in a couple days, I guess. My body's like, wait, what? So, anyway, I think a lot of people that very Americanized experience of university or college becomes as much about getting out and creating an identity of your own outside of the home of your child. You make a differentiation, and when you come back, whether it's joining the army and going off and doing a few years there, where you're kind of removed for a while, and when you come back, not only do you have a fresh set of experiences and outlooks and things that you're going to apply to that familiar setting, but your contemporaries, your friends, your family, everybody are going to look at you with new eyes too. And you'll often hear it from it's kind of that old grandparent thing. The grandma comes in, pinches your cheek and goes, "Oh, I can't believe how much you grew up," right? And it's just that chance that they've changed in their own eyes too, while you guys have been removed from one another. And then there's that's why a lot of young folks are like, "Oh man, I got to go hang with the family again." And, they're all going to sit around and they're going to talk about all this boring stuff, right? But it's all that boring stuff that they've been doing, asking you questions about what you've been doing. And for you, it may feel really old, right? Man, they were asking me like about summer camp again. That was 8 months ago. Like what? But it's the bridges that connect you back to your, if it's your grandparents or whoever it may be, that's either the last, you were excited about that the last time that you headed off to it because maybe they saw you in the middle of the summer and you were headed off to camp and, hey, I'm going to go shoot a bow and arrow or ride a horse or, whatever was exciting about that to you. Those are the kind of things that they hold on to while you're apart. And then even though you've had a lot of life experiences compressed into the time since, the contemporary ones are the ones that they share with you from having talked to you the last time. The ones that are fresh in their mind, that's where they want to pick up and leave off. But you've grown since then, and so I think that's why, be it the loosely connected analogy of heading off to school, coming back in adult school or the army or whatever, Peace Corps or anything else you might do, or just after a long visit trying to pick up with where you're left off for a band or other creative entity. Those, did we use all the slabs? We did use exactly all the, no, makeuping. Oh man, a brutal start. Those become, sorry, I'm kind of trying to do thinking and laying in here at the same time. So we need that bucket. We need 2 things of deep slate brick slabs. Boom. There's those, and then we'll need another set of bricks to be able to do the whole light suspension thingy. And then we'll have the hose to lay in as well. So I might as well do those. Alright, we'll want water first. And now, for all of you that were melting because we weren't productively growing. Actually, no, we want to do, let's keep that same pattern. I really liked that pattern from the last time. So let's do these. And since those are break all your own rules every day. Put one back. Okay. So we're going to go out, we're going to water, slab, hoe, plant, bone meal up, because those will be vines and they'll need to fall over or actually produce the thing, and you can't force that with bone meal. It may happen quickly, but we'll need to work that out on its own. So we'll get all those up and going, maybe do a bone meal on the wheat and the beets as well. Then do the elevated lighting, slab over the top of it, torches, and maybe some fence around the outside. That's going to be a big day if we can get through all that. Speaking of day, oh, not that. We are at day 110. I just hadn't looked in quite a while to see where we're at in this world. See our local difficulties now up to 435. Again, we're at level 45, so I think we've kind of gotten up into that upper tier. We did make it past fateful day 60, which was good, but never going to rest on our laurels too much there. That's another thing I don't know if I ever actually noted down. I think I did. I think we called it like 1752-52. Let me just check the world notepad here. Spawn. No, I did not. So I think it's close enough to just call it 1750, right? You guys all agree? I think we're with it. That'll get us home. Negative 1750. I love how we ended up just right on this diagonal from spawn. So a lot of these things are kind of right on top of each other, which is cool. And that continues in the same direction, right? It's oh, you guys aren't seeing. I'm looking at the Skelly spawner, which is negative 1795, negative 1797. But if we look at here to here, you go down the stairs, you come over, and you head out in that direction. Once you go down the stairs to the basement, so it's basically continuing on this diagonal that we have from spawn way out past the icebergs in the ocean, comes up along here, and then going out in that direction has the spawner on it. So pretty cool that. All right, now we can sleep. I was just really playing for time there a bit to cook up more of that stone. But shh, it's a secret. Another sip of this coffee. Alright, now we're going to probably have a good crop of mobs. Yep, that's a pretty good crop of mobs. Let's let what will burn off. Not many of those. Oh, he gave me something magical. It's very kind. Alright, Spidey, you can stay. I have decided. Alright, so first thing we were going to do is the water. That's handy because we've got full pockets now. Spider is throwing me off. I was worried if he was going to try to climb up onto the light thing and drop down and until my soil. So we kind of went roundabout there, but yeah, last night I was talking about Clarkson's farm and having watched that, and I'd actually already watched the. This is how I got to the solo projects. So when they moved over from the BBC to Amazon and started producing in the rebranded The Grand Tour show, that kind of opened the window. And they did it for a couple of decades at a minimum. They're all grown up. They're not that kind of, we're old enough to be recognized and successful, but young enough to still be pretty cheeky guys anymore. Now they're all middle aged gently. Um, Man, and that changes it. What was the show a few years ago with Terry Bradshaw and oh man, see, this is my failing always. Shatner. I was like the Captain Kirk guy. Um, all those guys from that age kind of went on trips and things like that, acting silly, running around and some of that. And it was, that's a thinly veiled, hey, let's cash in on the success of Top Gear. But there was also that very, ouch, painfully done Top Gear America show that, again, you've got to try, I guess. If you're in that business, you got to try, right? Because it worked so well. If you never try, you'll never know if it could succeed. But it's you need the right personality. Like as the show got older. Come on. Like as Top Gear got older and some of those bits and jokes and things got more formulaic and seemed less spontaneous, it's even worse when you're then trying to use a new cast in a new market and try to create the same show. And the best way is to go, hey, these are already known car type celebrities. Just go have fun, take road trips, do those kind of things. I don't know how I missed all that coal. I thought we were getting all the coal. Oh well. But when you take a new cast that you can afford, right, and and try to put them in to roles that people are already familiar with internationally, and then try to give them the same scenarios, it just doesn't work at all. Or at least it didn't seem to in that case. Which again, too bad. I mean, Corolla, Adam Carolla. For me, Adam Carolla went all the way back to the radio show Loveline on with Dr. Drew and a bunch of, it was perfect timing for me. And I think that's how most people found it. It was college aged, lived in a college town, had it on kind of a semi-local radio station, and it was kind of the train wreck you wanted to hear, like all the people experiencing relationship stuff that you'd already dealt with, so you felt mature and responsible. I'm like, oh man, I know that's not going to work out. That kind of deal. We just really don't have everything we need here. That's all right. Do it like that. perfectly. Now that I'm doing this, I'm realizing I should have done the half slabs first, maybe. Might have been easier to run backwards and actually hit them that way. Oh well. Half slabs. Oh, I did that wrong. Darn it. Now that I'm up here. These can merge. Can't quite do the picks yet. All the individual clicks, because when you try to run those back, it never seems to work out super well. Boom. How do I think that is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not there. Boom, boom. These back down. Get some up here. That really bugs on those textures. I don't know if that's just me and my laptop, having inferior stuff, but as soon as you start scrolling, those little blobs of... Oh, I should have a bed out here. I got too distracted by the little blobs of color. I didn't count the torch. So as soon as I realized I'd messed all that up, time to go to bed. This time we won't stay up late. We'll try to close that out. Yeah, so I think it was Ricky in the comments the other day was talking about like the trapdoors and being a good solution, and I couldn't remember what he was talking about or what I had talked about that he was referencing. See, that's what I thought he was referencing. Because every time I thought about the trapdoors, I would do these little, like, off jumps. And I don't know if it's this edge here. Something just periodically wrecks my leaps. Okay. Doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 2. Can you tell I've messed these up plenty of times before too? When the fixing becomes more efficient than just doing it, that's when you know. Yeah, this is a challenging system at times. Now, am I best just digging these up and putting them back down again? Maybe. Not good on my diamond shovel. dirt blocks back. Oh, man, our time's almost up. Let's see, with 2 wide, I can kind of bounce along between them and feel pretty safe. I'm not gonna take out my own crops. So let's do these. Am I just not getting... Okay, so that's as much as we can do. Is get them... Oh, I went. Get them fully set up here. I apologize if you guys can't see that little hitbox. I understand why. I can barely see it myself. So yeah, we can, for those, we can bone meal up to the full vines, and then it's just like the farm as it runs for the rest of all time, right? It can just sit there, and the pumpkins will reform as full pumpkins when they get the right tick. Ooh, I was lucky that didn't. Oh man, trash. Believe it or not, there was nothing going on yesterday when I had no internet. No lawnmowers, no garbage trucks, but that's okay because we are right up at the end of the episode, so I'll take a break while they're banging around and we'll be in good shape. Oh, this is going to work out great. If you guys will bear with me on the banging, let's try to just push through and get these 2 done and get the watermelon seeds that we do have in the ground. Then we'll head back inside and call it a good episode and give our last 2 fields, the rest of the exterior, at least the bounding of it, and focused on expanding our crops over to the next episode. It's okay, I think we got time. I don't know if you guys hear them as much when they're just driving around. I know the dumpster's getting tipped. Definitely go through, but they gotta like line up the first one and position, and then wheel out the dumpsters from the little, retaining wall stuff. All right, there we go. We get 1 each to let us know our beets are still going, and wheat will be ready or close to it when we come back. So good show in terms of progress. Yeah, we'll lay in that next one. We'll have, you can kind of now gauge how much extra cushiony room there we'll have for bees and whatnot. All pretty good. doing back here? Just cleaning stuff up. Okay, the rumblings have started. Hurry up. Switch that for that. We'll still need one more of those. All right. Let's see it. That should be right about an hour. Wash your hands. Yes, indeed. Um, Real quick chance to just thank you all for dropping by. I really do appreciate all the views, likes, comments. You guys are awesome, and I really enjoy engaging with you. Drop me a comment, and I'll be happy to read it and see if you guys have any good jokes or anything like that, or just good feedback on what we can do next. Anyway, until the next time, stay safe out there. No matter what activities you're engaged in, have a good time, but do take a chance to take a break from staring at the screens, get your eyes and your brains a little bit relaxed, and get your body moving, arms and legs and all that good stuff out in the sunshine if you've got it. We'll see you back here next time, and until then, stay awesome, everybody. See ya.